One-on-one, never lost. Went to the finals, never lost.
You never got there, LeVar.
Who?
You.
I've been a one-on-one champ, never lost one-on-one.
All right.
Back at it again, it's the guy Spencer. You know what time it is. It's time for week 4 of the top 10 most intriguing game of East Texas. And we got 10 games this week that are pretty good. But before we do anything else, let's get into who shined last week in week 3. And so let's get to rolling. For the first time, an offensive lineman makes the list at number 10 spot. It's Will Hutchins. An exceptional game against Van in a 30-27 win. Will Hutchins went off for 19 knockdown blocks, which is just insane. A guy that was trying to get people on their ass the whole game. Will Hutchins went off in a winning effort, 19 knockdown blocks, which is just insane to see on a stat line. At number 9, Montrell Haddon from Carthage. He had 6 catches, 158 yards, and 3 touchdowns in a big 41-0 win over San Antonio Cornerstone for Carthage. A team that they outmatched and went out there and made plays early and got the dub and secured the win. At number 8, Jace Mosley. We've been saying his name every week. This week he went 9 of 14 for 189 yards passing, and then he added 153 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground in a battle of unbeaten teams at 2-0 against Sulphur Springs. They went 34-21. Hostels got a lot of momentum, and Jace is the biggest reason why. At number 7, Carson Gonzalez from Mayflower. No, I'm kidding. Tatum, Texas. He went off against Pittsburgh. He only had 7 carries, but he went for 183 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 49-28 win over the Pittsburgh. I think they're the Pirates. Yeah, Pittsburgh Pirates over there in Pittsburgh, Texas. At number 6, Connor Cuff from Carthage. 299 passing yards, 4 touchdowns in a 41-0 win over San Antonio Cornerstone. Carthage, it looks like they're back with a vengeance, and they are rolling absolutely everybody. At number 5, the guy who won number 1 last week, this time it's just number 5. It's Josh Finney from Winsboro. He had a great game, 26 of 37, 395 yards through the air, 5 touchdowns, and he also scored 1 rushing touchdown, accounting for every touchdown for the Winsboro guys. 41-27 and a win over Hooks. At number 4, Kedron Young. Kedron Young went big for Lufkin this week over A&M Consolidated. 263 rushing yards, 1 coming on a 99-yard rushing touchdown for 2 touchdowns last Friday, and a 31-14 big upset over A&M Consolidated. At number 3, Braylon Traywick, the guy in red there in the picture. 14 catches, 258 yards, and 4 touchdowns in a huge battle of undefeated teams. 2 2-0 teams went at it, and then went out to the barn burner, 45-42 win over Athens. At number 2, it is Terry Bussey. I mean, who else? I mean, a guy that we wouldn't even going to consider because he played two-way ball, and week in and week out, he just proves that he's one of the best players in East Texas. He had a 69-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. He had 3 touchdown runs, and he had a 70-yard passing touchdown against Dangerfield as they blew out the Dangerfield Tigers on the road. 54-28. The 2A school comes up and knocks off the 3A D2 on the road, 54-28. And the number 1 player this week is Aiden McCown from Rusk, 30 of 38 for 403 yards and 5 touchdowns, and a huge 45-42 win over Athens. Another McCown, Owen's little brother, played receiver last year. This year he's getting the realms all to himself, and he's going off. He's having a great start to the season as Rusk starts their year off 3-0. And let's get into the top 10 plays. But before we get into the top 10 plays, let's look at number 11 right outside the top 10. It's Jason Mosley from Hallsville. He is going to get the quarterback counter, fake the run. Guys pulling, the H and the guard are pulling, and he gets in, gets out, and he's going to score from 38 yards out. A great run, way to maneuver. So at number 10, it's Emonte Cross, Cash Cross from center, and their loss against the team North DeSoto from Louisiana. A deep ball to who else? Evans, their big-time playmaker out there wide. Great play. Here's McCown here. It's a 70-yard touchdown to the Traywick right here. Deep ball, wide open, catches it, hits him in stride. Never has to break stride. It goes all the way into the end zone. Big win for Rusk at home over Athens. At number 8, it's White House. I think it's Braylon Pittman is I think his name. A 76-yard kickoff return all the way into the end zone. Does a great job of finding the crease, cutting up, cutting back all the way against the team. And then runs out of speed, but hey, he runs into the end zone before being pushed out of bounds. Great play there. At number 7 is David Potter. He's going to hit Xavier Dangerfield from Texas High in their big game over Benton, Louisiana, and a big win for Texas High as they do it on the road, a 70-yard touchdown pass and a lot of stiffies on the way to the end zone. And number 6 is the Texas High game again. The starter, Cody Reese, he's going to deliver here to number 1, and number 1's going to take it all the way. 86-yard touchdown run right there. Catch and throw right there from Texas High as they look to continue their winning ways as they go 2-1 on the season. At number 5, it is Lufkin. It is their linebacker who makes an incredible play, catches the ball, catches the interception, and he could go. Oh, where's Chris Berman where you need him? Great play there from the linebacker, Tanner Harvard, as he intercepts the pass and runs it all the way into the end zone for a touchdown for the Lufkin Panthers on a big interception. At number 4 is Montreal Haddon. Oh, my God. Just topped the guy. And just, you never heard of him. 70-yard touchdown there from Connor Cuff. At number 3, it's a 91-yard touchdown from Van. Oh, my God. Look at the dime. Places it over 2 people. Is it a dime or is it just bad defense? I don't know. But he's going to keep running. Beats the corner there at the end. Guy's not hustling. And he gets all the way into the end zone. Big play there from Van. They lose 30-27 to Lindale. At number 2, it's an interception. Who is this interception? This is Chapel Hill, and this is Darius Dean, a junior, I believe. An interception return all the way back to the house from 65 yards out, weaving through traffic against Greenville, breaks a tackle, and it's a score. And at number 1 is Kedron Young. 2 impressive runs. This is a 53-yard touchdown run against College Station. A&M consolidated the number 3 team in 5A last week. And then here's the 99-yard backbreaker right here. He's going to get a simple, just inside zone, finds a crease, linebacker over pursues, breaks a tackle through the line, and then it's a foot race. And he's one of those guys that can win any and every foot race, especially against this team. 99 yards, Kedron Young. So let's get into it. The top 10 games of the week. We've got Atlanta versus LE, a battle of 2 undefeated teams, both 3-0 going into this one. Atlanta had a terrible year last year, went over, but this year under new leadership, their athletes are all over the place making plays. They're led by their quarterback Peyton Harrison. He's done a really good job to start the year off, keeping them on schedule and keeping them and making them explosive. Done a great job for Atlanta. On the other side is LE, and they've got a fantastic receiver in DeQuane Prevost. Prevost got offers all over the place. He's got about 7 or 8 offers already, but just a lot for a guy that's a junior already and an offense that doesn't really, it's the LE. You know what I'm saying? It's not 5A, 6A. It's not like he's getting that kind of exposure. So great for Prevost for his recruitment anyway. But LE has been playing great ball. W.T. Jones leading them on defense at linebacker, and their quarterback's always fun to watch. Let's go LE in this one. We're going to go LE. They're going to get the win. They're going to go 4-0. And Atlanta, I think they're going to get their first loss of the year. At number 9, Jacksonville versus Pine Tree. And in Pine Tree, I think it's over at this point. Jacksonville, I think they're 1-2. Maybe they're 0-2. So you got a battle of 2 teams that have struggled to start the year off. Why is this intriguing? Because of the athletes, man. You got Ryan McCown. He's a McCown. So that's always intriguing. And then he's thrown into, who else other than Devin McEwen, who has played lights out for the last 2 years here in East Texas. And so, what they can do out wide. Jacksonville has some talent. Coach Holman's first year out there. And then we got Pine Tree. Is Pine Tree going to get on the board? Is Pine Tree not scoring, but are they going to get in the win column? Balkman is an offensive guy. They've kind of struggled the last couple of weeks offensively, haven't really just torn it up offensively. Defensively, been holding teams under 30. And, you hold a team under 30, you think you got a good chance of winning the ball game. So Pine Tree, are they going to step up offensively this week? I've got Jacksonville in this one, and I think Jacksonville is going to be the first team to get a win. At number 8, you got Henderson versus White House, and Henderson got blown out against Marshall. Kind of saw that coming. Marshall's a very good team, especially for 5A Division II. So them playing the 4A Division I team, They had the physical advantage. They had the two great, incredible running backs last week. They kind of put it to Henderson. But Henderson is always going to be intriguing because of that quarterback and his amazing arm talent. Jacoby Robinson is special. Even though they're losing, this dude is special. And who else is he playing? The number 1 quarterback preseason versus the number 4 guy in Josh Green. And Josh Green has played lights out. He's ran for almost 100 yards in every game, and he's just been exceptional throwing the football all year. He's got a great completion percentage. He's got 2 guys out wide that can absolutely get it in Jamal McCoy and the other receiver that's emerged this year. I think the world of Whitehouse. I think Whitehouse wins big in this one, but Henderson's going to fight, and I think Henderson and with Jacoby Robinson is always intriguing to see what kind of plays those guys can make. At number 7, it's Timpson. It's Timpson versus Wascom, and Timpson's going to be on here every time they playing somebody bigger. Wascom, I think, is a little bit bigger than them, 3A Division 2. Timpson, of course, 2A Division 1. They have rolled cats this year, no matter what division they were in. They don't care. Terry Bussey is amazing. He's went from a guy that I didn't even want to talk about to potentially the number 1 player in East Texas because he is just outstanding and can take over games. He's the best guy on the field in the majority of the games that he's going to play this year. And like I said last week, that's always dangerous. Give me Timpson right here over Wascom in this battle. At number 6, it's Center versus Dangerfield. Now, Center has been on a roll offensively. Cash Cross, Emonte Cross, the quarterback, has played incredible, throwing it out to Jamar Evans. Those two have a great connection. They scored points last week. They didn't stop anybody last week. Now, that's going to be the thing. They gave up big points against Tatum, and they gave up big points in the North DeSoto last week in their losses, even though they won against Tatum. But offensively, they've got it. On the other side of it, you got Dangerfield, who has as many weapons as anybody in East Texas, no matter the classification, which was so disappointing in seeing them lose in the way that they got beat last week because they definitely had the athletes to match up with Timpson. What is Dangerfield going to do? How are they going to bounce back? I'm going with Center right here. It's a little bit bigger of a school, maybe, but they've been clicking offensively. Dangerfield hasn't clicked every single week offensively. I think Center's going to score more points, and I think Center's going to win. At number 5, Tyler Legacy versus Texas High. And this is a big game because I want to see where Texas High is at. You know, Texas High played Frisco Lone Star close. They've won every game since then. They're 2-1 coming into this game. Legacy, on the other hand, they're not very good. They're not. They haven't been very good to start the season off. They're 1-2. They had a big win over Tyler in that Rose City Classic. But other than that, it's been kind of not a very good start for Legacy. What will they do after a huge loss against Longview last week? How will they look? And what will Texas High do? How will Texas High step out with confidence? A team that I think that they should win and win. Now, I don't want to say comfortably, but I think a game that they can win comfortably if they go out and execute. I'm anxious to see Texas High and what they do against Legacy this week at number 5. I think Texas High is going to win too. At number 4, Gilmer versus Lindale. Gilmer at Lindale at that. And this is very intriguing. Gilmer, very good. Lindale, pretty very, I don't want to call them very, but they're pretty good as well. They can run the football over there in Lindale, and that is typically what gives Gilmer issues. When you can come out and be physical with them, and you can pound the rock, keep away from their explosive offense, they typically have problems with that. I like Lindale at home, bigger school at home. They got Casey Poe back last week, the impressive offensive guard who's probably an NFL body just waiting to happen. Will Hutchins was the number 10 player this week with 19 knockdowns. Playing a team that they're very confident in. Colton Maya, the sophomore running back, has had 100-yard games this year already. They're coming off a big win over Van. And I just like them in this physical. I think they're going to make the game ugly as they can, make it very knockout, drag-out-ish. And I like Lindale in this game over Gilmer. At number 3, Kilgore versus Hallsville. And this is interesting because you got the number 2 guy in preseason versus the number 9 guy coming in preseason. I didn't think Jace Mosley was going to play as well as he's played this year over at Hallsville, and he's outplayed the number 2 guy to start the season off. Hallsville undefeated, looked very good on offense, have been fluid, been scoring the ball, they've been executing. Van Zandt, on the other hand, had a slow start to the year, but they got a big win against Pine Tree last week. He threw a couple of touchdown passes. Isaiah Ross had a very good game on the ground, and so it'll be interesting to see how these two match up. I'm going with the hot hand. I'm going with Jace Mosley in that Hallsville offense. They've been doing really well this year. Kilgore has struggled to stop people at times this year. and I don't think Hallsville is Pine Tree. So I think Hallsville is going to win this game, and I'm going with Chase Mosley and those Bobcats at number 2, Carthage versus Marshall. And this is an explosive game waiting to happen. Carthage has weapons absolutely everywhere, and maybe one of the most impressive receivers in East Texas in Montreal Haddon. He's done it on the field. He's been explosive in almost every game, and they probably got one of the best signal callers in East Texas in Connor Cuff dishing the ball out. He's been very efficient, hasn't thrown for many incompletions. I don't think he's thrown an interception this year just yet, and I don't know if Marshall can line up and stop that. On the other side of it, is can Carthage get adjusted to what Marshall does? Marshall does some things differently. They run the ball, probably 80 to 85% of the game. They've got 2 very good physical backs that run the ball very tough, and they've got a scheme that nobody sees all year. And so when you got those things going for you and a home game, maybe some momentum coming out of a big win over Henderson, some confidence coming back, I think Marshall will give them a good fight, but I'm going with the Bulldogs in this one. I'm expecting Carthage's offense to just be explosive because I don't know if they can stop Haddon and company outside. And the number 1 game this week, it's the whole time religion, and as Coach John King would say, it's Longview versus Lufkin. I've been a part of how many games have I played? I played 3 games against these guys, went 1 and 2. It's a story rivalry here in East Texas. Lufkin had that huge streak. Only twice have Longview won in Lufkin since 1997, in 2012 and 2019. And so 2022, we make our trip back to Lufkin, this time in the district ball game. First time these 2 teams have been in the same district since those days of the Doomsday days where everybody played each other twice in Tyler, in both Tyler and Tyler High. And then you've got, of course, Lufkin and Longview. And so you just got, it's just old time East Texas football, man. And so I think the kids are excited about it. I think both schools are excited about it. Both schools are 3-0 going into this game. Y'all know how I'm rocking. Y'all know how I'm affiliated. So I'm not going to make a prediction about this game. But best believe this is the most intriguing game in East Texas this week. Longview and Lufkin. And let's just see what goes down at Old Abe Martin this Friday at 7:30.